Do you envision any current Padre getting a statue here?
Honestly, you're about to say no, but I wouldn't say no on that at all, because what if they win a title? So yeah, I would actually lean more yes than no. I would lean more yes than no on that question. Yeah.
If Manny makes the
Manny spends 14 years here and plays at a World Series.
I mean, if you make the Hall of Fame, if Manny makes the Hall of Fame and he goes in as a Padre because he'd be,
then there's your answer.
He would have. But are they going to? What if he doesn't win a World Series?
Well, the other statues haven't won a World Series here.
Well, what if they never? At least those two guys made it.
Are there only two statues?
Yes. Well, there's also a.
Yeah, but we're a long way from saying Manny doesn't play in a World Series for the Padres.
There's also a Jerry Coleman statue, but it's
right. But aren't we a long way of saying he never plays in a World Series? Even if, no matter what we feel about the Padres right now, he could play late in his career. He could still play mid-career.
I feel like in order to get statues, you got to do something like extraordinary.
I agree with that. Completely.
And you can be super consistent for a team, but like, there's been a lot of players that have been super consistent with teams for a long period of time.
I agree completely with what you're saying. Completely.
They have to go above and beyond and do something that, like, Trevor and Tony. I mean, Trevor, they have awards named after them in baseball, John.
But do you think Tatis might just have a contract? Because he had a statue contract. So maybe just a piece of paper that's memorialized.
We are unveiling the
statue contract. It's a statue of the contract.
Yes.
That says $340 million on it.
It's just a bronze clipboard.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you some possibilities here real quick for statues. Hear me out. There's only one first no-hitter in franchise history.
It's an off day. We're talking about statues.
There's only one first no-hitter.
Statues.
Talking about statues.
There's only one first no-hitter. And he's a San Diegan. It ain't over. I'm just saying, you can't rule out a statue on him. What if he wins a World Series? You're ruling out. He's shaking his head. No, there's no scenario where Joe Musgrove with a World Series and the first no-hitter gets a statue. No scenario.
Sure, if he gets a Cy Young to go with the World Series.
That's not right. You can't guarantee that. You're guaranteeing he can't get a statue.
First of all, John, if this team wins a World Series, they're not going to give one guy a singular statue from that team. Whatever team wins it. That would be whatever they do for the first World Series winner here will be a team-oriented type of thing.
That's not the point, but that doesn't mean you can't get a statue of being on a World Series winning team. You just said it. If Machado spends 14 years here and wins a World Series,
who has had, and it's relatively, you can't say it yet. And I'm not even looking at the stats.
Arise.
No, stop.
Mr. 400.
Guys, he hit 400 with his time in the Padres.
Through April 29th or whatever. Okay.
If Jake Peavy doesn't have a statue, Joe Musgrove shouldn't get a statue. Sorry. No. And
I'm just conversation. No, it's not.
Why are we talking about statues with Joe?
It's not. It's an off day. You're allowed to have these conversations.
Like 75 murals. That's good enough.
You're right with what you're saying, but there's still there are some things you're not recognizing. I'm saying if they win a World Series,
then it will
he
be
has
a team
the
thing.
first no-hitter. It's not a team thing. If Manny Machado wins a World Series here, he doesn't get a team statue. He gets his own.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No,
Are you kidding? I will guarantee you Manny Machado will have a statue if he spends 13 years here and wins a World Series.
Maybe they, I think, have like criteria that you got to be at least in the Hall of Fame to get a statue.
Criteria? And Manny Machado will be in the Hall of Fame with that.
Then we'll talk when he's in the Hall of Fame.
But you just said it's not. That's what I'm telling you.
Again.
You're saying that the last statue's already been awarded for a Padre. That's incorrect.
If here's how I would be like, okay, yeah, Manny deserves a statue. He has to win at least one MVP. He has to at least get the team to the World Series. And he also has to be elected in the Hall of Fame.
Say it one more time. Okay, he has to be in the Hall of Fame. By the way, do you agree? Is he trending for the Hall of Fame?
He's trending.
Answer that. Thank you. Okay,
but
is it that hard? Is it hard to envision he makes it
to the Hall of Fame?
Right? Is it hard to envision?
No, it's not.
Would you say it's 51-49?
Yeah.
Okay, check that box. What else?
Make it to a World Series and be one of the best players on the team.
On the team when they make the World Series, that's fine. You're saying not his last year coming off the bench like Pujols for the Cardinals, or okay, I'm fine.
A key contributor.
Got it. Fine.
And win at least one MVP.
No, he doesn't have to win MVP.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. You don't have to make the Hall of Fame and win a World Series in San Diego to get a statue and win an MVP. That's not the criteria here. And I'm mad about it. It's not. That is not the... Who disagrees? How does Manny get a statue? 70470 started with team. Does he also have to solve homelessness?
Look,
That'd help.
This is not like an indictment on Manny. I'm not saying like, oh, Manny sucked. No.
And I'm not Mr. Manny either, but I'm just telling you from a realist perspective what I think it takes.
Okay, fine. Civil guy, someone in our chat said, well, Gwynn never won an MVP. Well, also Tony hit
fair. 20
there's
years,
there's a lot of things that Tony did.
I agree.
That Manny will never do.
Agreed. 100% agree.
And that's why I say you got to be like extraordinary. You have to do things that are extraordinary. You can't just be Mr. Consistent. I hit 30 home runs for 7 straight seasons. And oh, by the way, we made one World Series and I made the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I agree with what you just said. If he just hits 30 home runs for the next 7 years, okay, just hear me out. 30 home runs, but he never gets to a World Series, and he does eventually end up in the Hall of Fame. But his tenure in San Diego is productivity, but never part of the winning team that gets to a World Series. It's very debatable and arguable, and you could very well be right, although I could argue that's probably enough to get a statue because you're talking 12, 13 years here and a Hall of Fame. But there I'll give you. But if they win a World Series and Manny Machado is on that team and he's in the Hall of Fame, I'll start. What do they call it when you make statues? Like, I'll be the designer.
Okay.
And I'm sure it'll look like a stick figure.
I see people like, well, Hoff never won an MVP.
That's different. That's different. I'm giving you that too. Brilliant closer.
They have awards named after them in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Trevor Hoffman Closer of the Year, the Tony Gwynn.
There's the Eyewash Award.
They have MVPs and Cy Young Award winners, and none of them have statues either.
Yep.
No, that's way different. We can discuss on the other side.
I'm just saying that we're talking about accolades. And stuff.
Randy,
I'm going to explain it all.
Blake Snell, should he get a statue?
No, but comparing
him
Blake
on Twitch.
Comparing Blake Snell's tenure as a Padre to what Manny Machado would accomplish after 14 years is a disservice to Manny Machado, and you know it.
Wait, say that again?
Comparing Blake Snell's season to what Manny Machado could accomplish.
I was joking.
But you're saying but you're not joking about what you're saying about Machado.
No, I'm joking about what I said about Blake Snell. You're saying if they win a World Series with Manny Machado on the team, boom, statue. Mm-hmm. I say it's like that is
not enough.
Not even close. Okay. If you told me this, whenever they win a World Series, if they win a World Series and he's on it, he's got to be like the main guy. He's got to win like a World Series MVP, and he's got to be like Bryce Harper was in the NLCS last year versus the Padres. If they win a World Series and he's not even the World Series MVP, he goes 1 for 21 in the series. Like, it's awesome. Who cares? They won the World Series. But that doesn't mean just because they won it, and he's going to make the Hall of Fame potentially one day. Boom, statue. You got to go above and beyond. You have to be extra. You have to do things that, at the end of his career, you look back and be like, man, there's nothing bad I could say about that career with his time here. And already since 2019, John,
there are bad things you could say.
There are things about Manny Machado that you're like, I don't know.
How are you going to remember AJ Preller's time as GM if they win a World Series? It's going to change the conversation, will it not?
Oh man, if we're giving Manny a statue, then just like Preller gets a statue. Profar, screw it. Yeah, I mean, if now you got to give Kevin Towers a statue. You should give Adrian Gonzalez a statue. You should give Caminetti a statue.
No, hold on, I understand some of what you're saying is completely valid. I'm talking right now. We can
take
executives and broadcasters and owners out of it for a second. That's a whole nother conversation. There's merits for we could have that conversation. I'm talking about players. I'm talking about players.
Here is what you do at the end of Manny's career. And now we're done with this after this. I'm done.
Photo.
I'm done.
Bobblehead day.
This is what you do. And there won't be a statue. There won't be any of that thing for him, right? He makes the Hall of Fame. Guess what? Cool. You get your number retired here in San Diego. Boom. Easy. Done. That to me is almost just as good as getting a statue. So
you're willing to wait. So you're willing then to retire his number regardless of if they win a World Series.
He makes the Hall of Fame and he goes in as a San Diego Padre. He's getting his number retired. That's right now at this point in time. Things obviously could change. He could go on a tear and win 2 MVPs and win a World Series MVP. Then we can talk about other things there. But at this moment in time, with the trajectory of his career, which is pointed directly at the Hall of Fame, if he continues to put up the numbers that he's putting up as a third baseman, 30 home runs a year, close to 3,000 hits, however many gold gloves he's going to win, right? All-star games, all that, right? Cool. Hall of Fame, amazing. He's going in with the Padres cap on.
I'm listening.
You're getting your number retired. And that, to me, at this point in time, is the farthest I'll go.
Sure. So the numbers that are retired right now, Garvey.
And that is even one that you're like, I don't know about that one.
Gwynn, Winfield, who has the Padres hat in the Hall of Fame, or does he not?
I think so.
I feel like he does. Am I wrong?
I'm probably wrong on this one, but
are we wrong on that?
Maybe.
The first player to enter Cooperstown as a Padre,
yeah,
Dave Winfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Randy Jones, his number's retired. To your point. Okay. First Padre player to win a coveted Cy Young. Yeah. So are you going to retire Joe's number? First player to throw a no-hitter?
No.
Okay. And then Jackie Robinson and Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball's all-time saves.
And he'll make the Padres Hall of Fame too. There you go.
Getting your number retired and getting a statue that's like a few notches below getting a statue.
Yeah.
The Lakers probably retired AC Green's number, but he's not going to get a damn statue out in front of Crypto.
There's a lot of monuments in Monument Park that coincide with those retired numbers. So, listen, I understand what you each are saying.
How do we even get here?
I'm not sure.
How do we get here?
It's a Padres off day.
I'm just saying, don't rule out the possibility of Machado statue if things come to fruition.
Oh, you asked a question that
what was it?
Will there ever be another Tony Gwynn in San Diego?
Right, you're like no, and I completely agree.
Said,
but there could be players that end up in Hall of Fames.
Yep.
There could be players that win World Series. And guess what? There can also be, Jim, because there's a good chance when you and I die, which is either in 5 minutes or in 50 years, there's a good chance, Jim, if you live another 50 years, there's another Padres statue. Because that's how sports work.
I hope
50 years is a long time.
I hope there is.
There's a very good chance of it.
I hope there is.
I don't think they're done from a franchise perspective erecting statues.
And you know what? I know you're gonna be like, well, Trevor Hoffman, but Trevor Hoffman got traded here. Very early on in his career.
Absolutely.
With the Marlins, right?
Right, converted infielder.
Yeah. He never played a game with the Marlins, correct? He started his time here in San Diego.
Is that accurate?
Those are Tony and...
No, he played for the Marlins. Good call.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
28 games.
I was going to say, like, Tony and Trevor, like, those are kind of like homegrown guys, essentially, here.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Fair.
Manny's not.
Games changed.
Well,
things happen. That alone isn't a reason, is it?
It's not a reason, but it would definitely help his chances for you to see this statue one day, is if
for me to see the statue.
Like, I don't know. Anyway,
no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.